those that were at home. So we took a pretty aggressive stance on wildfires ever since then, and advocate very hard on funding for CAL FIRE, resources for CAL FIRE. We work hard on the mitigation up front, but also the resources to extinguish a fire quickly once a fire is discovered. So there's been a number of fire events that we've had to address. Again, none that have been ignited by us, but ones that have impacted our infrastructure. Outside of that, we haven't had, we have mechanical problems at our plants, but we haven't had any other big issue. And even the fires, we've been fortunate. FEMA's covered much of our cost associated with replacing the infrastructure. One of our biggest challenges that we're working on in Washington, D.C., and the mayor was back there with us as we were advocating. We're leading a bill on being able to remove on federal lands wood waste that's taken from the trees that are adjacent to our power lines. So in our right of way, currently the federal government doesn't allow us to take that away. We have to try to find a mill to sell it to. But most of it's not a product that a mill would buy. We have so few lumber mills any longer in California, so it's become a challenge. We've had to leave it there on our right of way. We cut it down, we leave it there, we stack it, and then it becomes a fuel source. So we have a piece of legislation that NCPA's led, and it's now included in a bigger bill called Fix Our Forest Act. And Senator Padilla is the leading author. It was initially Dianne Feinstein prior to her death, and Senator Padilla took it over, and it's bipartisan. It looks like it's going to move this year. So we're very excited about that. It has a number of key provisions on rights of way, forest management, and a number of other activities. And Mayor had the opportunity to meet with Senator Padilla back there and have some discussion, and thank him for leading on that bill, because for all of us, they said wildfires is probably our biggest risk, because we have a lot of liability associated with that if we were to be the ignition source.
So there's no cyber risk, cyber attack risk with the complexity of moving the power? You have not had any of that?
There's always cyber attack risk. There's always different types of risk. We have a very strong information technology unit at NCPA that works very hard on those issues. As you would imagine, the electric sector is probably one of the premier sectors as to having a number of standards that we have to follow regarding cyber. We've only had one incident since I've been there, and it was really, we had one employee who went on Facebook and clicked something they shouldn't have clicked on their private Facebook from their company computer. But fortunately, we firewall everybody, so there's limitations on how far that can go. Until the FBI came in and took a server and pursued a potential person, but outside of that, no, we're always on top of it. During some of the more active timeframes, we've had 50,000 or more attempts a month to come into our system. Many of those from North Korea, China, or Iran, and they pursue the electric sector. But again, we work very closely with the federal agencies on that.
Thank you, Randy.
Sure.
Any other questions for Randy? How about any questions from the public?
Yes, I came personally just for this man.
All right.
So, my background, I was on the construction 2010, 2011, building a new energy center at Lodi, made it to combined cycle steam system. I put my hands on almost all that pipe. I've been up in the geothermal geysers 50% of my time, so I was Calpine, and then it was you guys. Probably over $300,000 in the 24 years I've been doing what I'm doing. It's came from you guys, so thank you for that. But I'm here to go, I'd like you to say truthfully, Biden's administration is the one that gave us the billions for you guys to build hydrogen hubs, and it's going to be Trump's administration that's going to threaten to cut the $1.2 billion in funding for hydrogen hubs. We're talking across the nation with the United Associations. So let's be honest, let's just say Trump's going to cut $1.2 billion from the hydrogen hubs here in California. Let's be honest, if he does cut it, maybe 2028, you guys will really start. I'm out here in the Cal Bio carbon capture plant right now in Williams, California. So, and let's be honest, what's gonna save natural gas in California is carbon capture. It's gonna make all the hippy dippies feel better about it, because we're gonna really filter it now, right? But Trump's also cut that. Calpine's facility was about ready to build the biggest facility ever in our area and employ more people than any construction site ever in our area. They're cutting it because of Trump right now. Trump, I'm just gonna be honest with you. So, on top of that, since you're here, I'd like to ask you, as I thank you for well over $300,000 of my 24 years career from the NCPA and geothermal geysers and Energy Center. Is it the NCPA's contract that restricts the city of Biggs from letting me put a bigger solar system in, or my battery system, or is that the city of Biggs restricting me from putting my battery system in, or is that the NCPA's contract with the city? Thank you.
Thank you. I'd be happy to respond to that.
Go ahead.
NCP is our strategic essential partner in power acquisition and compliance with a raft of state and federal regulatory requirements. However, it's the city council that is the governing body of the publicly owned utility. So it's the city council that sets, under the auspices of the California Electrical Commission. They are our primary regulatory agency, also CARB to a degree, but it is the council that is the governing body of the POU that sets the policies and procedures. We're currently working on a draft policy for solar plus batteries right now. The battery technology technology in some cases outpaces policy. And I think that that's what we're bumping up against right now. I haven't seen in my tenure here a single application
You will.
yet
You will.
for solar plus battery. And nor have I heard from council any particular expressions of opposition to that. What we do have to be mindful of is that there are some folks who are electric customers who might have in mind to overbuild systems in order to arbitrage the difference. That is to say, oversize their battery, oversize their solar, and try to monetize by way of arbitrage that difference. And that's why our policy and most POUs have a net metering policy to help customers achieve their savings goals without becoming a generator themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know that I don't want any monetary, but I know you got an application in because I got it in writing with my cousin right now, where she came down and it said in writing from your city right here, you cannot install solar battery or over install your solar system. And I get it. We don't want to pay anyone out. I understand that. But I don't want to be, this is supposedly small town redneckville conservatives, less government, but you're going to restrict me from saving money from putting a battery system for my nighttime usage. Because let's be honest, maybe not NCPA, but PG&E and Oil raise their night rates to combat solar. They raise their rates to combat solar during the day. We get it, he just said it. They don't have to run these things during the day because all of our solar is doing it. So where I'm at, you're going to get an application from my supplier already for my battery system. So I can save money and feed my children with the hard times of everyone else. And if the my city council member doesn't support it, get ready. I got 3 guys ready to run. Well, actually 2 gals and a guy. But so we'll get a city council that will do it. I'm just saying, this is over. This is small town, let's not run conservative, less government, run it like an HOA, but then restrict my solar, restrict my savings and money to feed my children. It's over. We're coming. And so I'm here to say we're coming. And I wanted to hear that it wasn't NCPA restricting me, it was the city of Biggs.
Thank you. Any other questions for Randy? Thank you.
Thank you, I really appreciate the opportunity to share.
Enjoy the presentation. Okay, item 6, consent calendar. Anybody want to pull anything from the consent calendar? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll, motion to approve consent calendar A through C.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 7, Discussion, action, adoption of the 2025 Butte County Community Wildfire Protection Plan. Who's running that? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm filling in for Chief Fowler today. He's away in Sacramento on business for the department. And I'm stepping in to present a PowerPoint presentation to you on the Community Wildfire Protection Plan. A little bit of background, staff respectively requests the City Council to adopt the 2025 Butte County Community Wildfire Protection Plan and authorize the mayor to sign the signatory page. A little bit of background is the Butte County Community Wildfire Protection Plan. CWPP is a collaborative effort countywide to identify and prioritize hazardous fuel treatments and identify measures to reduce structure and liability. Some of the items included in the CWPP are our collaborators, our stakeholders, and overviews our communities and our fire departments. Priorities for each battalion and city, project lists, maps, ignition analysis, and ignition management plans. And the 2025 CWPP is the first complete rewrite in nearly 20 years. Adopting the CWPP has no financial impact on the city of Biggs. Wildland threat is primarily in the foothills, but we have vegetation fires in and around the city all the time that threaten homes, businesses, and infrastructure from connectivity and fuels. This PowerPoint was put together by our team from fire prevention. I'd like to introduce Fire Captain Spencer Mallinger here, who helped put in hours of effort into this plan over the last year. Next slide, please. All right.